do it.
Okay, here we go. Good morning, campers. I told Bex, I'm like, you have to at least do the morning campers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Campers.
Morning, campers. Yeah.
No, thank you for joining us. I don't know what number of calls this is in our series, but today we are going to be talking about pain management and how you can use your oils and doTERRA products and even some other holistic options they have out there for managing pain. And one reason this is an important topic is because, and Bex is going to talk more about this, but painkillers, over-the-counter ways to manage pain can be detrimental to your health, can be addictive, can cause more problems than you might already have. You hear the side effects list on the commercials for the over-the-counter medications. It's crazy. So this is an important topic. And also the fact that essential oils don't mask the root cause of this. So you're helping to ease your symptoms, but you're not masking everything so that, and it's one way to kind of to delve in and figure out what is causing the pain. And I mean, that's important. Like, why are you having this pain? So yeah, we're going to get started on this. I'm going to share my screen because we have, Bex actually created a beautiful slideshow.
I'm so surprised. Gina normally does the slideshows. I'm a bit of a lazy daisy with it all.
No. This is great. And some of my slides, I'm like, oh, those are not as pretty as Bex's. All right. So let me figure out, I know this is always a little bit of a challenge for me.
Present. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So thank you for the wonderful intro, Gina. So I thought we'd start with a definition of what pain is. Slide number 2. So pain is a signal in your nervous system that something may be wrong. It's an unpleasant feeling such as a prick, a tingle, a sting, a burn, or an ache. And pain can be sharp or it can be dull. We've all experienced pain. There's not a chance that we haven't, it's just kind of, it goes along with being humans. You trip and you fall, and depending on how you fall, it's either a scrape or it can be a broken bone. But I mean, when you have pain, what do you do? And we've been taught basically that if anything's kind of severe, that, you go to the doctors. The doctors are going to help you out with, you want to just hit the arrow button, Gina? So you go to the doctors and they're going to help you ideally identify where the pain's coming from, give you some pain meds. But then, like Gina said, there's so many side effects that are associated with a lot of these pain meds. Depending on the kind of doctor you've gone to see, and we are going to talk about this a little bit later on, Gina's going to mention it towards the end, your doctor will potentially prescribe you also some therapies. So physical therapy, acupuncture, chiropractic, and they're a really great way to go ahead and start looking at the root cause of your pain rather than just trying to mask it with a painkiller. But there are a lot of additional issues associated with pain meds. There's a lot of addictions, and it's becoming one of the, I believe for like suicide and things like that, it's more likely that it's a prescription pain med than any other chemical or toxin that you could have put inside your body. That's right. It's 3 over 4 prescription overdoses of pain meds and not anything else. So I think there's a little bit more on that slide, Gina. I'm not sure what. Oh, there is not. Oh, you took it off. You took it off. We did talk about this. So here are some drawbacks to using modern medicine for your pain. So they're very toxic and they are very addictive. They don't actually address the condition that's causing the pain. I invited my chiropractor on, and I'm not sure if he's here, but one thing that resonated with me when I went to his kind of introductory seminar was he said, show me a pill that moves a bone. And there is no pill that moves a bone, yet we all seem to assume that if we have an ache and a pain, the first thing we should do is, if it's a bad pain, pop a Vicodin, or, I don't know, hydrocodone. But these things are incredibly toxic and they're very addictive. Aspirin and ibuprofen can cause ulcers and gastrointestinal bleeds. I remember my grandma saying years and years ago, don't take ibuprofen. It'll kill your stomach. And I'm like, what, grandma? Like, what is she? I don't even know what she means. But I'm starting to understand, like, again, like we were told to clean like your grandma. And what were we saying last week, Gina? I forget,
Cook. You cook like your grandma, right?
Go back to the natural way of doing things with the cleaning, with the cooking, with the, reduced sugars and things like that we were mentioning last week. Mm-hmm. But back in the day, they didn't used to just pop pills for fun. Like they would try and figure out what was going on and change their lifestyle to alleviate it. So the use of aspirin and ibuprofen can cause ulcers, but it also can increase chronic health conditions. Sandy's sharing. She says that it gave her GERD. I believe that's really common. It's unfortunately, it happens to a lot of people.
Well, because they just take it daily and it just becomes part of your routine. And then it's like, what, you're just living with it, I guess. Right. So yeah. The point is you don't want to live with that. You want to figure out what's happening and.
Yeah, definitely. I'm that crazy person now that when I have pain, I don't take anything for it. I kind of want to feel the pain to know if it's getting better or not. Mm-hmm. My husband had a root canal and he got all the things, like he did everything, all the prescriptions. I was like, well, okay, do what you want. I'm not going to help you. And I personally, I'll say like, well, you need to feel the pain to know whether or not you're getting an infection or not just completely, mask it so that in 3 days when you start taking the pain meds, you're like, whoa, I have a lot of pain here. It just doesn't really make sense to me. I understand if it's really bad pain, but still. Anywho, so yeah, like Gina was saying, like that long-term use, it becomes a habit and you don't even find out the root cause, but it can also cause kidney damage. Trell in 2011 did a study on that. And then, as I mentioned previously, 3 out of 4 prescription drug overdoses are caused by pain meds. And you can find all this information just on the CDC. Well, you might have to search through the COVID information first, but it's all on there, there are so many shocking statistics all related to pain meds. Gina, do you want to do this bit?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. But, and we've talked about this before, but it's always good to repeat. And we tend to repeat ourselves quite a bit, but hopefully it's like the stuff is sinking in because it's everything kind of, strings together. But anyway, okay. So essential oils can help, but quality matters. Of course, you always want to know where your oils are coming from. You want to make sure they're pure. There's no pesticides. There's no synthetics. There's nothing added that could cause a reaction. So certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils are important, and that's what doTERRA stands by. Purity and quality is like top. It's the top thing they worry about, I guess, and for our sake. 96% of their farms are exclusively sourcing oils for doTERRA. And the way they work with the farmers is amazing. And just a little plug for doTERRA Convention, which is coming up. If you want to learn more about this, like the purity and the quality of these oils and meet the farmers and, hear about how they're sourcing these oils, it's really cool. So there's still time to join us for that.
$35, guys. It's awesome.
Yeah. And it's like 4 days worth of information that you could watch at your leisure from your kitchen table, couch, bed, wherever you want to be. Clear labeling. So what did you mean by that, Bex?
Just that,
whether they're internal or, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I mean, it very clearly says if it's a supplement, then you can be taking it internally. And the labeling is different. If you look at other essential oils that you can buy from different places, Sprouts, Target, online, the labeling it's very different. And I feel like doTERRA are very transparent. They're very open, and you can even scan is it the QR code?
Yes. No, well, it's a little, yeah, or you can look up, because there's a, on the bottom of each bottle, there's a little code, and you can look up basically like when that, you know, the oil in that bottle was sourced, when it was bottled, and all the information about, you know, the oil, the chemical constituents and all that. So, but yeah, very transparent is a good word. Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, with the CPTG as well, we don't actually certify ourselves as therapeutic grade. It's third-party companies, and it's sometimes up to 5 different companies that test, or there's 5 different test points that happen to basically assure that everything is 100% pure before it even gets to us. And if at any point, even at point number 5, when it's checked, there's some kind of contamination in there, they don't take it, even if it's already landed in America and it's the last checkpoint. I mean, other essential oil companies will buy that at that point, but we just don't. We won't have it.
Yeah, and we've had to do without, you know, certain essential oils because they were not happy with the, you know, the sourcing, and they were not happy with the product, so they just won't let us buy it.
And contamination happens. I mean, like with rain, like with the water runoff and things like that, certain things can get into soils which were not expected. And so that's why they test these things so many times. Accidents happen, but they just don't accept the product. Whereas adulteration, where they're actually enhancing the quality of the soil, if you will, to create a better essential oil with more chemical reactions, doTERRA do not do. They will only they only accept that product in its natural form, in its own kind of its own bubble of excellence. Anything added, even if it's enhancing it, it's just not tolerated. So, and that's why they do so many checks.
Yeah, you're just getting that plant in that bottle.
Yeah. So there are many benefits of using essential oils for pain. They can reduce pain safely with no side effects. And I was hoping my friend Danielle would pop on this morning, because she's a holistic health practitioner. She's a nurse. And she once said to me, while in a hot tub with a little glass of champagne, it really bugs her that we say that there are side effects. Because she's like, they're not side effects. They're either positive or negative effects of the oil or the tincture or the medication that you're using. And it drives her bonkers that people mention this thing called side effects, because she's like, no, you could, why don't you just tell me, here's the positives of this and here's the negatives. And she just says, like, it's just not cool that they're trying to hide the whole it's negative by saying side effects, right?
Never thought.
And I was like, oh, it's really interesting. Like, yeah, you're right. So it can reduce pain safely with no side effects, or no negative effects, I should say. Correction. It can help get to the root cause. And so if it is that you have an alignment issue, that's going to start to show its face, and you can start to take care of that. If it's that you have chi blocked in your body, you can start using oils to help that, and then you can use other therapies to get to the root cause. Using essential oils can actually save time and money. And you've got to remember that your oils are multi-purpose. So if you're using an essential oil on your back, because you have a little bit of back pain, you're rubbing it on with your fingers, which will also it's going to get into your bloodstream. And remember, oils have both a physical and an emotional benefit. So if you're using something for pain, but it also frees negative emotions, yes, please sign me up. Right, Gina, do you want to say any more on that? Are you there?
Sorry, I'm a little distracted because my mom is going to get here and my dogs are going to go nuts. So if I put my headphones in, does that mean you don't hear the outside noise as much?
I think we still hear it, but I'm not sure.
All right. Well, I'm going to try to figure this out. But yes, absolutely. And we've talked about the emotional side of pain and essential oils and how you can actually, reduce a pain by working on the emotions. So yeah, that's a huge, multi-purpose piece right there.
Yeah. And if you want to know more about how you can use essential oils to release emotions, which can then in turn impact pain, I think we've done 2 episodes now on emotions, and all the recordings are posted on both of the Facebook pages, so you can get those easily.
Yes.
So the next slide, I don't know if you want to just go ahead and take some screenshots. So once all these flow out there. So I just recorded some clinical research that I found. I thought it was interesting. And I like evidence. I like to know that what I'm saying is true. So there's a good selection of oils that I found here. Black pepper. And Gina, if you know anything about these oils themselves, I just kind of typed this up, but black pepper, Agarwal et al., he found that it reduces pain associated with rheumatoid arthritis. Peppermint is a pain reliever for the central nervous system with anti-tumor, antiviral, and antibacterial properties. And so in parentheses after each oil, I've put the author of the study, and if I had more information like the date, I did that. They found that wintergreen, when you apply it to your temples, it can be really beneficial for severe headaches. I have wintergreen, and that's one oil I never really know what to do with, so I shall keep that out and handy. Wintergreen has an interesting lid. I guess I don't know why. Do you know why, Gina?
Yes, they did that because it smells so minty. Here goes my dogs. Sorry, but it smells so minty, and so it's like a child proof, so that the kids can't get in and like just drink it down because it smells like candy.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
So the next one I found was lavender, bergamot, and eucalyptus. And this was a study in 2010. Found that pain could be reduced in diabetic peripheral neuropathy by 50%. So that's huge. And so all of these things, if you think about it, like using these alongside, I mean, if you're suffering with rheumatoid arthritis, I mean, that's pretty scary. It's not fun trying to get through a day when your joints are aching. So if you can have something handy in your purse or sat on your desk that you can just be applying, and know that, I mean, you can't overdose on these things. So you can apply black pepper as often as you'd want, really. Just be diluting it, obviously. Make yourself a roller and just find kind of what works for you. So I found geranium showed a significant reduction for arthritis-related inflammation and pain. There's a little theme here with arthritis. Clary sage and marjoram relieved menstrual cramps for up to 12 hours. I shall be trying that. Yeah. And then clove. This one was interesting to me. I had to reread it a couple of times. So clove relieved needle insertion pain as effectively as benzocaine gel. I don't know what benzocaine gel is, first of all, because I'm not from this country.
It's like a numbing.
Oh, okay.
I believe it's like a numbing, kind of gel.
Okay.
But I could see that if anyone has tried clove for like a toothache,
yeah,
it was great for toothache, and it does numb, definitely. If you get it on your lip, you're like, your lip's a little numb.
Yeah. It lasts a while, right? I just wonder, do they mean literally, so you would probably tap the bottle and just wipe your leg, where it?
I would think so, yeah.
Oh, I might try that. Not that I get many shots, but that's cool.
Oh yeah, it is definitely numbing. Was someone chiming in? I think it's really cool. I wish I have two nurses that are on my team, and their hospital, they're in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I think that's what it is. Minneapolis. They're in Minneapolis. But their hospital has been using essential oils for years now. So they use it with their patients for calming, and they use it with their, nurses for calming, and it's just part of their, repertoire. And I love that. But that's calming. But
that's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. So these are all great. And you know what I love is that, well, I always put a plug in for the Modern Essentials app on your phone, because there are a lot of different oils you can try for different, health concerns. And so, like, say you don't have black pepper, maybe there's another option for rheumatoid arthritis. There's definitely more options for rheumatoid arthritis. So I love those apps, and obviously Google is good too. But the Modern Essentials app is specifically doTERRA essential oils and what they've studied and what they've learned over the years and what. So I just love that app.
Yep. I know I still am yet to get it.
Let's see. I'm just seeing there's a chat here. Copaiba is from a pepper tree. Good to know. And we're going to talk a little bit about Copaiba today. Okay. So a couple of my painful stories and just what has worked for us. We talked about arthritis and inflammation. Frankincense I've heard numerous stories about frankincense and arthritis. And so I've suggested to people, and they swear by it. So just daily, a lot of people get the arthritis in their hands. Daily using a roller, or just rubbing, or even putting a drop of frank in like a lotion. So just putting that on every day on any painful inflammatory spots is really, really a good idea. Lavender we have used for both my girls used to play soccer, and so rolling the ankles is a very common injury in soccer. And when wearing heels, or I don't know, stepping off a curb, I know there's a lot of rolling of the ankles. So when they would come home with these giant swollen ankles, I would start with the lavender, and that really helped with the swelling. So we would start with lavender and maybe a little bit of frankincense as well for the inflammation, and then move on to, and that helps with the pain as well, because lavender is very calming, as we know. So we found for swelling that lavender really helped. Copaiba and peppermint. Those two are my go-to for pain. So I just drop them each in my hand and I rub it on the spot. Really good for cramps, and just any painful spot. I love them together. Deep Blue Rub, and I know Bex is going to talk a lot about these too, so you're going to see some overlaps in our favorites. But Deep Blue Rub, I think it's one of doTERRA's top selling products. They even made a giant pump for athletes, and so they have a lot of teams, college teams, different massage therapists and chiropractors, and businesses that use this daily in their practices and in for their athletes. Swear by it. It is amazing. It is even allowed some people to avoid surgery, because it's the ingredients in that are helping with the inflammation and the pain. So highly recommend that stuff. Marjoram has been great for me with oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on the word. Spasms, I guess. Yeah, spasms. So, as you get a little older, even like little, movements that you do daily, sometimes you tweak something, or, twist just the wrong way. And so marjoram was an oil I never really used, but then I looked it up on my app for spasms, helped a lot. And I usually use it in combination with, lavender or copaiba and peppermint. What I did with my Deep Blue roller is I just added extra, as it got to be empty, I would add extra things. So I have marjoram in there, I have lemongrass, frankincense, and ginger. I put the little like dots so I know what I added. But so that's what's fun about the rollers. You can add whatever you want. Okay, so my husband has always had, and it runs in his family, knee and joint pain. So he uses, and we're going to talk more about the Deep Blue Complex as well, maybe on the next slide, I can't remember. But the Deep Blue Complex is a supplement. And I'm going to talk about the ingredients because ingredients are really important to me. And whenever I start taking something, or before I start taking something, I look up the ingredients and I do a little research on what those ingredients are. What am I putting in? So I love the ingredients of this Deep Blue Complex, all natural, plant-based. So we're going to talk more about those. So he uses that complex along with a Copaiba soft gel for his joint and knee pain. And he takes that daily, and it has helped him immensely.
Love it.
Here we go. So more on this Deep Blue polyphenol complex. The ingredients. So one of the first ingredients is frankincense. So we talked about frankincense, inflammation, soothing, promotes healthy mobility and function. Turmeric. Everyone's heard probably a lot about turmeric, but its role for soothing overworked muscles and joints. Huge. Polyphenols. So polyphenols are found in green tea, red wine. You guys have probably heard of resveratrol. So that's found in the grape, the skin of the grape. Green tea is has really good inflammation, anti-inflammatory benefits as well. Grapeseed oil and pomegranate juice. Okay, so anti-aging and wellness. All of those ingredients are great for anti-aging and wellness. Okay, and then the pomegranate. So punacalagin. I'm probably not saying that correctly.
No idea.
So this is an ingredient in the pomegranate that is, or in a molecule. Okay, so this is what's behind the pomegranate's benefits. And these polyphenols help neutralize a broad range of damaging free radicals, supporting the health of a wide variety of, why can't I make this little thing go away here? Oh my gosh. Oh geez.
I can read the last line.
What does it say?
A wide variety of tissues, organs, and systems throughout the body.
There it is. My goodness. Obviously, tech is not my forte.
Move your mouse off it and just do the arrows on your keyboard.
And then just okay. So, so those are the ingredients. I feel really comfortable putting something like that in my body versus an over-the-counter pain medication. So read your ingredients. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about Copaiba. When this oil was first introduced to us, they were talking about it with CBD and the, comparisons, because, CBD is like huge right now. So Copaiba affects the same neurotransmitters as the CBD oil. And what I learned is it's a cannabinoid, okay? And so it's affecting your CB2 receptors. So your CB2 receptors are prominent in your central nervous system, interacting with your neurons, also found on immune cells and the brain, spleen, bone, liver. But CB2 receptors are involved with pain, with your emotions, mood, like calming. So the BCP, which is a beta caryophyllene, is the main compound found in Copaiba. And if you want to take a screenshot of this, you can. But Copaiba uses 4 different Copaifera species, making it the highest concentrated cannabinoid available, but also no side effects. So you're not going to feel any euphoria, and you can take it safely, while working and all of that. So, it's never going to appear on a drug test. But the benefits are incredible. So pain relieved, decreased inflammation, reduced anxiety, huge, cancer prevention is thrown in there, nervous system support, seizures, insulin, cardiovascular health. So there's a lot of benefits of Copaiba. And I know Bex is going to talk more about this, but it comes in an oil. It comes also in a soft gel. Do you want to talk more about it now or on your?
Sorry, yeah, so I got a text coming through. Yes, actually, so I love Copaiba, and I think what we often don't realize is that Copaiba has the ability to drive the benefits of other oils deeper as well. It's got this, I don't know what it is about Copaiba, but it can help your other oils work more effectively. So it's a great oil to add to whatever you're doing. And as well, the primary job of Copaiba is to restore homeostasis in the body. Homeostasis being balance, emotional, physical, pain, well, you name it. It is to restore balance, to have those cell receptors firing correctly, and to keep that seesaw balanced, like I spoke about a couple of weeks ago with the was it the CV1 and CV2 receptors or something like that? But to basically just restore that balance and homeostasis in the body is Copaiba's primary job. And the positive effects, not the side effects, are all that Gina listed. So the pain relief, the decreased inflammation, because I mean, if you're in pain, you're not balanced, right? So it's restoring that. Because pain's natural. Inflammation it's a natural occurring response within the body, but it should only be in response to trauma or an injury. It shouldn't be, or stress, but it shouldn't be there all the time. And so Copaiba's job is just to restore that homeostasis and balance in the body so that you can function to your fullest.
Yes. And I find I just love a drop under my tongue if I'm feeling stressed, or there's so many oils we can use for stress, but Copaiba and frankincense both, and maybe it's because they're both like tree oils. I think Copaiba is a tree oil. Grounds me, just brings me down. So yeah, a drop under my tongue. Yeah. Amazing.
Yep. And I think we got some shout outs for Copaiba coming up. Gina did a bit of digging and
yes. Shout outs. Yes.
Testimonials for soft gels and all stuff.
Helping through pregnancy, no pain after a C-section. I mean, how amazing is that to not have to take those medications that can mess with your stomach and make whatever you're recovering from even harder. Knee pain we talked about. So Copaiba and turmeric. They make turmeric capsules for us. They make Copaiba soft gels, but in a pinch, if you have the two oils, you can make your own capsules. Copaiba and frankincense, no more migraines. This one in a salve with lemongrass and frankincense and Copaiba. And they were recovering from a broken leg and 2 trashed ankles. So using that salve at night, or that oil blend at night, they can walk with less pain, more mobility, less tightness in the joints. So I always love a good shout out or a good testimonial, right?
Yeah. It gives you ideas as well, I think we're on to my favorites now. And I'm not going to talk too much about them because we have covered it. But turmeric is a good one for pain. Copaiba, lemongrass, marjoram, past tense, and peppermint would be the things that I would go to. Sandy's got a burn from last night. I would put lavender directly on it personally. Drip it from the bottle. It'll make a massive difference quickly, and just keep reapplying.
I would also add peppermint too.
Yeah, she says Copaiba and rose reduced it. Nice. Oh. Well, she doesn't need our suggestion. She's got it going. She's got the expensive ones, guys. Okay, so turmeric, we didn't really mention when Gina was just talking about it, so I will tell you. So we have the turmeric oil, but we also have the turmeric capsules. And the turmeric capsules are dual encapsulated. They have both the essential oil and the botanical benefits in there. Because again, if Danielle was on, she could tell us there are a lot of benefits to herbs compared to using just pure oils. But doTERRA know this. and they're leading from the front, and they are creating products that also encompass the botanicals as well as the essential oil together. And turmeric dual capsules are the first example of that. And so they're pretty phenomenal product that can really reduce inflammation, pain. I believe turmeric can be used as the anti-big C prevention as well, but I'm not sure on that one, but I believe that to be true. Lemongrass is amazing for pain. I have no idea why, but it is phenomenal for pain. Marjoram is great straight under the tongue, does not taste good. Past tense is the tension blend, and I have to tell you that I always use past tense for any kind of aches and pains instead of deep blue. I was never a fan of deep blue, never, until recently. And then peppermint's wonderful. Okay, so here's my little migraine rescue go-to. And I used to suffer severely with migraines, severely. Like I would get knocked out by them probably 4 or 5 times a year and need to take a week and a half off work and couldn't remember how I got home, was slurring. Like I used to get really bad ones. So now as soon as I feel like it's, you know, I'm not dehydrated and I didn't have too many glasses of wine last night, I know it's a different kind of headache. I do in a capsule, frankincense, lavender, lemongrass, marjoram, copaiba, and I pop it in a capsule and I take that 2 or 3 times a day. And then I do lavender and frankincense on the roof of my mouth. Like I put it on my thumb and shove it up there on the roof of my mouth. A cold washcloth on the back of my neck with eucalyptus and peppermint. I do grind some Himalayan salt into my hand and I just lick it. Like that seems to really balance out my electrolytes. And then lots of hydration and lots of rest. And normally I'm up and running the same day. It's insane. And I used to have to take the full on like migraine meds that knocked me out and numbed my entire body. And now that is what I do whenever I've got something coming on. And I'm fine. Touch wood. I'm fine. Next slide are a few more.
Can I say one real quick thing about pain is we once did a little make and take meeting, and my girlfriend made a mixture of Epsom salt, lemongrass, and lavender. And she said it was the most amazing bath she'd ever taken. So lemongrass and lavender with Epsom salt in a bath for, you know, if you're in pain or even just, you know, on a normal day. But yeah.
On a normal day. Sure. Sign me up.
Yeah. And Epsom salt's bath is great for pain.
Love
that in any slide, but highly recommend.
I know. Yeah. I mean, the magnesium sprays as well. Whoops. We should do that. Okay. So if you're squeamish, sorry. There's bashed up toes on this slide. Okay, so more of my favorites. I mentioned I was never a fan of deep blue until recently. So most of you know my mum suffered a massive stroke on her return to the UK the last day of November last year. And you don't feel good. Go. You ate both of those. Here, drink some water. That will help. Okay. Remember, if I'm talking. And so I quickly left on a plane and got to the UK and was faced with some kind of awful situations you can imagine. But my friend threw some oils in my bag for me. I didn't know what I was taking, and she just kind of helped me out. My friend sang. She packed my bag completely as I was like running around frantic trying to figure out what to do with the kids. And she packed deep blue rub, which I don't use, right? I don't use it. And copaiba was in there and all, like a lot of the basics. Anyway, so probably day 2 or 3 of sitting at the side of my mom in this hospital where she's just completely unresponsive and machines beeping. My back was just killing me. And I'm like, I don't know what to do about this. I'm in so much pain, but I can't really say anything because, I mean, we're not in a situation that's about me. Anyway, I just dug in my travel bag because we were carrying everything with us and living out of Airbnbs and hotels every night, changing hotel rooms. And so I had deep blue and rub and copaiba. And so I used 2 or 3 drops of copaiba with a squish of deep blue rub. And I just rubbed that onto the bottom of my back and the top of my like shoulders. and the pain was alleviated pretty quickly, to the point, in the end, I couldn't actually get through the days sat at the hospital on those incredibly uncomfortable chairs without it. And I think it was just like sitting on a long flight, all the stress, and everything was so very still, and I'm not a still person. And the stress of everything that we were hearing, and Deep Blue and Copaiba became my best friends. And I couldn't survive my days without them. And the reason I put on there the Copaiba soft gels and the Deep Blue polyphenols is because I wish I could have had the internal versions while I was in the UK. You can't actually get the Copaiba soft gels in the UK yet. I believe you can get the polyphenol complex for the Deep Blue. But I can only imagine the benefits of using these oils both internally and topically when you're really suffering with something that's incredibly stressful, you've got a lot of pain. And so there's my little shout out to being transformed into using Deep Blue. It was forced upon me in a rather stressful situation, and it worked wonderfully. Side notes, my mother is home. She has full use of both sides of her body. She looks phenomenal. She just unfortunately cannot speak, but she understands everything, and she is in speech therapy now, so we're hoping that we can somehow get her to be able to communicate. But she just she still likes to call us and chit chat, and so she's doing wonderfully well. So that's a whole other story of essential oils as well, not for today. Okay, so the squeamish picture that we're seeing right there, and I should have probably said, like, do you want to see this? But it's up there. So I don't know, 2 years ago, I smashed my foot, and I broke 3 toes in 4 places. Listen to that. How impressive is that? Ooh. So I broke my big toe and the next 2 toes all once, and then the big toe had a second fracture on it. Oh, it was awesome. It was so fun. And it was rough. I should have put a picture on there from like two days after that, because it was amazing, the difference. It was unbelievable. And so I literally dripped onto my toes Helichrysum, Immortelle, and lavender. And that's what I dripped on there, and they healed, and the swelling went down within a couple of days. It was insane. I also put on there, and I don't know why I didn't list this, Siberian fir is good for healing bones as well. And I'm sure I was dripping Frank on there. Like, why wouldn't I? But then for the pain, I actually was taking capsules of frankincense, marjoram, and lemongrass. And it was when I broke my toes that I discovered marjoram's abilities with pain and pain relief. So yeah, let's get that off there, Gina. But it definitely worked. Speaking from experience, it worked.
Oh, there we go. So we talked a little bit about natural and holistic therapy. I mean, we mentioned that we were going to talk about this, but and these are so great to be using along with your essential oils. Chiropractic care. So is manipulation of the spine and your bones to relieve pain, to, like Beck said, that to get your body back into homeostasis. I mean, we have this, spinal column, and it needs to be in line. If it's out of line, we're going to be in pain. So it's a great option. And I know, like some people love it, some people don't love it or haven't tried it yet, but it's definitely something to try. And do you want to talk a little bit more about chiropractic, Bex?
So I've actually used both chiropractic and acupuncture, and I like them both for different reasons, but chiropractic specifically is back in my life again. I've lost a lot of curvature in my neck, so in the C section of the spine. And so we all know that chiropractic is associated with the alignment of the spine, of the vertebrae. And generally you go see a chiropractor if you think you've got a pinched nerve or something like that, right? Or if your back seems out of whack, or you've fallen and your pelvis seems tilted, right? But chiropractors can do a lot more. So around the spinal column basically protects the central nervous system, right? It's like a shell, if you will. And so you've got all those amazing threads of wonderfulness that go through there, that if one of them breaks, that's when we have serious issues. So I recently got back in touch with a chiropractor I used to work with, 10 years or so ago. And I went to one of his seminars, and it was incredibly enlightening about how not always does chiropractic care become necessary when there's pain. We just associate chiropractic with pain and alleviating pain, which is wonderful. Great association, do it. However, if your body is slightly out of line, and it is pinching a certain body system, if you will, like the feed of the juice, the good juice to that body system, like a pinched nerve that you're not necessarily feeling, it can impact that body system. So depending on where your body is out of line or not moving correctly within the spine, it could affect your gut health. It could affect your mental clarity. It can affect, your liver, which we all know is the master organ for detoxing. And so he was sharing that, people, they come in for back pain, but they end up reporting that their skin cleared up. And it's because, yes, he worked on what he thought was, this back pain, but he found all these other issues with the spine, and that when you're able to align it and get correct movement between the vertebrae, it relieves all that tension, if you will, and allows the body just to basically work correctly. He also does a lot of work with the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, and how, depending on if your vertebrae are not aligned and working correctly, you can often feel like you're trapped in the fight or flight mode, where it's very easy just to be tipped over the edge and you lose your patience, or you get angry quickly, or you melt down quickly. We've all experienced that with COVID, and stress is a big issue. Which can add to issues that chiropractic care can actually help with. But it's something that I'm pursuing right now. I'm going there twice a week, and it's just great for, if nothing else, a wellness plan, because there's always things that can be worked on.
Yes. Agree. And then acupuncture is something that I've just recently kind of gotten into, and I'm no expert, but one major hypothesis is that acupuncture works through neurohormonal pathways. So you're putting the needle, small little tiny needles, in specific points in the body to stimulate the nerve. And then the nerve sends signals to the brain, and the brain releases neural hormones such as beta endorphins. So it's really interesting. I went to acupuncture. Well, originally we had our daughter start for, she has eczema and different hives she gets from water, and so she has, bless you,
thank you,
she has some different things going on. And I was like, we went to the chiropractor, and then they suggested maybe some acupuncture, and so we were just trying to try everything we could to relieve some of this for her. And so then I went, and for one, it's completely relaxing for me, and I don't have a issue with needles, and they're so tiny anyway. But they put on this calming music, and you're in this room. But I've gone for, I had a yeast infection, which I haven't had in a long time, and cleared it up within, like, I don't know, it was uncomfortable, right? And I was like, I went and I was like, please, can you help me with this? I don't know if you can, but literally the symptoms went away, and it was like gone. While she was working on that issue, she put some in my neck, and just like relieved all this tension that had been there for years, because that's just, a place where a lot of us, we hold our tension and we slouch, and, so I found that it had, and then what else have I gone for? I had a sty, and, anything I have now, I go and I try it. And because I believe that your body does have this, one of the things they talk about is the chi in your body, like the energy flowing through your body. And if something is pinched or something is out of whack, then it's going to affect the flow in your body, right, of the energy. And
Yeah.
so I highly believe that if there's something off, like my energy or something's messed up inside. So I don't know. I've been going. It has helped with a lot of different little random things. So I highly recommend trying that out too.
Definitely. One of the most, I got rid of my pain from quite a big car crash. Acupuncture was the only thing that worked, and I tried everything. And acupuncturists will do this technique as well, where they can use the glass balls and they put them onto your back, or if it's in like an area where you can't get one of those glass balls to stick and pull out the bruising, they can use almost like I think it's like a bone shape, and they like scrape your skin, which is what I have done often on the top of my neck. And I find that to be the most pain relieving thing that I can do. Like if I have a headache or if my back's really hurting, that's often what I'll do. My acupuncturist actually showed Phil how to do it, because I was going there all the time and that's all I wanted doing. And it sometimes I could have got it done at home, so she actually showed Phil how to do it, which was very kind of her. But the idea is, with the cupping and the scraping, that there's stagnated blood from an injury which is blocking your chi. And so by creating that suction or that constant friction with the scrape, it pulls that stagnant blood to the surface, and then the chi can flow through naturally underneath. And whenever my acupuncturist would be scraping me, she'd always say, "Oh, you're lighting up. It's lighting up." And I always used to think, uh-oh, that means my back looks like I've been beaten. But she used to love lighting up my back, because and she's like, "How have you been coping with this?" And it helped me visually see, I think pain is silent, right? You don't get to ever see it. You just kind of suffer with it. And so when I could visually see this pain in wings on my back, I think that was part of the healing process as well, Gina. I really do, because visually, then you can see something. It's more tactile. You can understand it, and you can see that it's healing because the bruising is coming out, if you will. Mm-hmm. So if you've never tried cupping with your acupuncturist, do it. It's amazing.
I love it. And these are all just, options to try when, because people suffer through pain for years. And like, it's just, I've never had chronic pain, but I can't even imagine, because I have had a pain for a week in my back. And I was like, how do people live with this? Like, so that's what we're trying to help with, is, just giving people options to try that aren't going to cause side effects, and they smell really good, and they may help other things at the same time. Like we said, right? Like they could help your mood and your pain. And I'm all about that.
Your husband's snoring. Get that on you, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It'll work. Exactly. So I guess the big question is, like, who's ready to try it? And does anybody have any questions?
Or
shares?
Shares, yes. Sandy did share that in a chat that chiropractor also helps with your blood flow, right? Was that what you said, Sandy? Maybe you want to share.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Release the nerves, increase blood flow. Oh, there.
Yeah, I was saying that, when you do chiropractic care, of course, you're working on the spine, and from the spine is the root of all those nerves, that run throughout your body from, the top of the spine to the bottom. And when you release those compressions, you now improve the function of those nerves, and they lead to all sorts of organs throughout your body and your skin and everything. Everything's interconnected. And it also improves blood flow. So it would make sense that that you find relief. You go in for one thing and you find relief in other areas.
Definitely.
But everything is interconnected, and I just wanted to throw this in because I've been training to do healing touch, and I've done the first 2 levels.
Nice.
And what they teach us is that the body is like nature. It wants to reach, like you were saying, homeostasis, balance. It always tries to reach balance, right?
Yeah.
So it naturally knows how to heal itself. It gets stuck. We overload it sometimes. Sometimes even our stress and emotions can block it. But when you provide the body with that relief and it can release, then it can reach that balance again and it starts to heal. That was my share.
I love that.
That was wonderful. I could listen to you talk all day, Sandy.
Well, it is so true. Like the body is just amazing and it does want to heal itself and it does have the power, but sometimes we just have to give it a little extra added support. And all these are ways to support your body naturally.
That's it.
Annie has a question.
Well, so as a new oiler, I find that so many oils have so many different uses. And the reason I go to the cabinet and reach for the ibuprofen is because I know when I pop that pill in 30 minutes, my back pain will go away or my headache will go away. And for the oils, it's like, okay, what oil can I take for this? Let me grab my book. Let me look up the symptoms. Okay, this one says to rub it on my temples. This one says to put it in a capsule. And so it's harder to figure out which oil to use for what ailment because there's so many uses and so many that it becomes a little bit overwhelming at times. It would be great for a topic like this to say, have a chart like that's all laid out and says, okay, if you have a headache and you're about to reach for an ibuprofen, do this instead, you know, because there's just, it's just so overwhelming.
It is. That is a really good question. And it's like a loaded question, right? Like,
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I find that like I'm writing all these notes, I'm taking these down and I have this thing that says it, a pain bomb here. And it just, when you're in pain, you just want it to go away. Like you don't necessarily, like chronic pain. Yeah. Okay. I have time to maybe think about it because it's not going away anytime soon.
Right.
But like when you come home after a hard day and your back is just killing you and your kids are all over you and your head hurts and you're just like, don't talk to me. There's one that's like, I know it's not the greatest for me, but I know it's going to work fast. And then I'm like,
Well, essential oils work faster than modern medicine because we can metabolize them quicker. So when you figure out what it is that works best for you, and Gina, correct me if I'm saying anything wrong, but because it's coming from a living entity, it has the same genetic makeup as what we do. So as you're taking that oil internally or rubbing it on your body and it's entering your bloodstream that way, your body recognizes that and absorbs it quicker and puts it to use quicker. I feel like back in the day, you would either respond better to ibuprofen or Tylenol. And everybody had a difference in opinion. And I think it was just depended, like they had a preference, you know, okay, so I never take ibuprofen, I'm a Tylenol girl. Oh, okay, sure. Whereas now I do neither, but Tylenol never did anything for me. I always had to do ibuprofen, just like that was the way I was. And so I guess at some point I had to figure out that Tylenol didn't work and then move on to ibuprofen. Essential oils are no different. There are going to be oils that work better for you and they're and more effective for you. For headaches, before I do anything, I mean, I don't have stuff in the house anymore. There's a shift for you. Chuck it. But I do the Copaiba and the Deep Blue. Would be my go-to straight away. I do the rub on the back of my neck. I get peppermint on my temples. And then normally if it's a bad enough one, I will take whatever I've taken, put on my skin, I normally will take internally as well. So that's my rule of thumb is if something's bad enough, I try to put it in, on and around me. That way you're getting the 3 best ways. But I do understand what you're saying. Do you have any Copaiba soft gels?
I don't have Copaiba at all. I don't have marjoram at all. And
Well,
I
there you
looked
go.
into, like, after the Father's Day thing, all of the men talked about the Deep Blue capsules, every single one of them.
Yeah,
And I was
they're
like, oh
pricey
my
though,
gosh,
right?
let me go look. And I was like, $60 for 60 capsules? That's a expensive headache. Like,
Yeah.
so
I will give you some to try. But the thing is as well, I think what I've come to realize, because I used to be somebody who had headaches all the time, your headache is a symptom of your problem. So why do you have a headache? And then normally if you address that versus the headache, you'll probably get to the root of it quicker. But in the pinch, I get you, ibuprofen, let's go. You know, it's going to be guaranteed. Yeah, I'll give you some polyphenol. You can test them out. Also get Copaiba soft gels on your order for next month, or the Copaiba oil. Personally, the Copaiba soft gels work completely different than the oil for me, which is bizarre because they're exactly the same thing. But if I take the capsules, they help me sleep. But if I use the oil, it doesn't affect my sleep at all, which makes no sense because it's the same thing. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But it is what it is. But I would definitely get yourself some Copaiba of some descript.
Okay.
If you don't have that. And I would do that before marjoram. To me, marjoram is more, the use of it is more narrow, whereas Copaiba is wonderful for many, many things. I would invest my cash there, and I'll give you some polyphenol to try.
Thank you for the advice. That helps.
Yes. But if you want to try and come up with a list, and this is out there to everybody, of like general ailments and go-tos, Gina and I can throw a chart together. We can even try and do a class on it somehow. It's over to you guys. I mean,
yeah, we talked about doing that because, you know, a lot of times people, you have this kit of oils and you have these things you want to work on, and you know, sometimes it's just a good idea to pick your, you know, top 2 or 3 things that you really are, you know, want to work on: health concerns, emotional, sleep, whatever it is. And then, you know, narrow it down so you can focus and you can, you know, just have those couple things, you know, you're doing and you're working on, and like a little protocol, a little daily routine.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. Well, Gina's family has arrived. Hey, Gina's family. She's been excited to see you. So we should call it a day. We should finish there, guys. We will determine next week's topic and then announce it on Facebook. And we'll plan them for the whole of September again. We're loving seeing you guys every Saturday morning. Thanks so much for joining us. Please feel free to be inviting people to the classes. If you're enrolling people, get them on the class. They need to know this stuff. If they're just friends who are interested, get them on. Please, they don't need to already have an account. They don't need to be in the secret group. It's all good. Just get them on the call because people need to know this stuff. Do you have anything else, Gina, or are we all good?
No, that sounds great. I think, yeah, just ditto all that. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully it was helpful. Always ask us questions. We're here for you.
Please. All right. Bye, loves. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Bex.